In this video, I'm going to talk about how to train people to pray in belief. It's really, really important when you are either standing for your own healing or training people to stand for their healing and believe for an outcome of manifestation of healing in their body or emotional healing, is you really want to make sure that people are praying in belief, not in unbelief. It seems like a contradiction there. So either people are going to pray in belief, or they will pray with some kind of doubt in their mind. They're praying, they're still going through all the same motions, but you can sense that there's actually a doubt in their heart. And I'm going to read a scripture verse that talks about this. It's from the book of James, James 1:6, New Living Translation. And it says, "But when you ask him, be sure that your faith is in God alone. Do not waver, for a person with divided loyalty is as unsettled as a wave of the sea that is blown and tossed by the wind." Once again, James talks about, as he's writing to the believers, he's saying, do not waver. Other versions talk about this as a double-minded person. A double-minded person with divided loyalties will not get results in any area because they have one foot in one place and one foot in the other place. It's like you're standing on top of two horses with one foot on either horse, and you're gonna get divided. It's better to put your faith one way or the other. It's better to either put everything towards faith or to just admit that you're really in unbelief. And that's okay too. I'm gonna talk about that in other videos. If you really are in unbelief, then just admit it and then work through it to get to the place where you are in full belief. So the first thing to notice in this, in training people to pray in belief, is one, do not waver. And number two is to stand on the word. And there's a scripture that says, do not fear, only believe. This was when Jesus was in a crowd of people, and Jairus, who was one of the high Pharisees of the time, came and said that his daughter was sick and dying, his 12-year-old daughter. And Jesus just immediately said to him, do not fear, only believe. You have to get to that point where even if the outside circumstances look completely like it's going the opposite way, you have to have faith in Jesus, because faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. If you are going to stand in your faith, despite what the outside world looks like, despite what your circumstances in your body are, or the person you're praying for, despite what their circumstances in their body are, the doctor's reports, you need to get to the place where you don't have any fear and you only believe. And the third point I want to make in this video is a story from, once again, from the Bible. Jesus with his disciples traveling in a boat from one side of the sea to the other. The scripture comes from Luke 8, and it's Luke 8:24. And it's about when Jesus was in the boat with his disciples. It was a very stormy weather that day. And they came to him and awoke him, saying, "Master, Master, we are drowning." In other words, can't you see we're drowning here? The water's coming in, the waves are huge. And he arose and rebuked the wind and the raging of the water, and they ceased, and there was a calm. This is another example of when Jesus spoke to his disciples. The outside circumstances were completely stormy. The water was coming in, the waves were out of control, the wind was blowing their boat. But Jesus came with his authority and just rebuked the wind and the waves, and immediately everything was calm. That's a metaphor of what you might be facing inside, or the person that you're trying to train to pray in belief. They might be facing this inside, is everything is so stormy. I feel like I'm drowning. I cannot get on solid ground. But you have to have just that supreme peace of Jesus to command things to go away. I talked about this in a previous video where I said we have the power to command God's power through our hands, where it says, concerning the work of my hands, command ye me. We have command of the situation, but we need to make sure that we do not waver, that we stand in faith and only believe, do not fear, only believe, and that we rebuke the wind and the waves of our situation and get to that place of peace. That is how you train people to pray in belief. So if you like this video, hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell to be notified, and I'll see you in the next one.